Hello, my name is Ava Mason, and today I'm going to be talking to you about passion. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, I've heard the word passion, but what does it really mean? Now, and I believe that passion is a kind of love. Just as you love someone, you can have passion for someone, but you can also have passion for interests. Well, an interest is passion, but it is a type of love that is so strong that I can try and find the words to describe. So, to start, as long as I can remember, when I was really, really, really young, I remember I would get in my mom and dad's car, and my mom gave me one of her little iPods. It was bright pink, and I would plug in these little cheap headphones, and in the backseat of the car, I would sing out loud Britney Spears songs on repeat. And even though deep down, even though I would look up and see my parents laughing at me, I would not care. Without fail, every single car ride, I would do that. And another memory is I remember I loved Frozen. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And so the movie would play, and then I would start it over and rewatch it again. And then my mom finally got me a little princess karaoke thing, and I would sing Let It Go on it once again on repeat. My poor mother. It's okay. So then when I was around 10, I begged my mom to get me into guitar lessons. Begged her, and finally she gave in. And so I took guitar lessons, and then in 5th grade I joined choir, and that was the first time that I really felt how I felt on stage. And it's indescribable. Maybe it's something about the adrenaline, the nerves, the excitement, and then the fact that it all melts away the second that you're in front of an audience. I adored it. And that was something I had never forgotten from that single day. And so then in 7th grade, I'm starting to figure myself out a little more, figure myself out more spiritually. And obviously throughout all my life, I knew I loved music. But I have vivid memories. The first vivid memory of me really feeling the passion for music was, it's my favorite feeling in this entire world, and I don't even know how to describe it. It just happens sometimes. But my grandma and me were leaving this church dinner, and it was late at night. We were driving out from the mountains, and so you could just see beautiful lights outside. I had my AirPods in, and I had them full volume, and both in, and I remember playing Tumblr Girls by G-Eazy, and there's that one part of the song, this one part, and I almost felt my heart genuinely skipped a beat, and tears came out of my eyes. I couldn't explain it. I knew it had happened to me before, but this was one of the most vivid times where it was strong, and I loved it, but I had no clue what was happening. So then I played Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish, and it was the same vocal part, just as in the G-Eazy song, but it was towards the end. And it happened again. I felt my heart literally jump out of my chest, and tears were coming out of my eyes, and I was holding back so hard, trying not to smile at myself out the window, because it was the best feeling I'd ever felt, and I bet I looked so funny. And ever since that time, every time I listen to a good song or listen to the same songs, just those two songs or anything, I chase that feeling. And not to mention, in 7th grade also, it was kind of a rough time for me. I mean, 7th grade was a rough time for everyone, but especially, you know, it was kind of I was in a dark place at times. So I wrote songs, and I wrote my first song in 7th grade. I still play it sometimes till this day. And then in 8th grade, I wrote my second song, but it was through that I realized that I could express my pain and my emotions, and I could express being this person who cares so deeply through my lyrics, through art. And that is beautiful. That's beautiful on its own, you know, but it's just okay. So then comes freshman year. It was obvious in like 8th grade, I started to really embrace it. I started to really understand myself a little more and my love for this thing. And I had a few attempts too. My attempt throughout this all was just mainly like in middle school a lot. I would audition for solos, and I would audition for roles in musical theater. You know, most of the time I got ensemble. There were maybe a few solos and good roles here and there, but it didn't matter to me because nothing can compare to the feeling that I have being on stage and knowing that I could make someone laugh, make someone cry, you know, change, just knowing that I have that power through this sort of expression is unbelievable. And so yeah, I then got into high school, and that was when, once again, it really kicked in, because we did Matilda the musical, and I got my first big role. I got Miss Honey, and it was such an amazing experience. When I tell you, I cried on stage because it's so beautiful to me. Like, it means this character in general, but everything about putting on this musical, everything about it meant so much to me, means so much to me, that I cried. I cried a lot. But knowing that I changed these lives, not lives, but knowing that I made these people cry, like, people would tell me that during one of my songs, I made them, like, sob. And knowing that made me, it's an unbelievable feeling. And so I feel that in that moment, and even moments way before this, I knew deep down that I could never imagine doing anything else with my life. I can't. I just can't. And so I do believe that it is realistic. I think it's realistic to think about. It's good to think realistically about your future. Yes. And it is absolutely not guaranteed that you will make a good living off of writing music, being an artist, and knowing that is it's a scary feeling. But there are millions, thousands, millions of people out there right now who have so much money. Money that could buy them anything in this world. Billionaires who, even if they spent as much money as they could every day for the rest of their lives, they would still have millions by the time they're dead. Like, it's crazy. But they're not happy. And hey, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that there are probably even people in your lives personally who you've seen who have so much money and could buy themselves anything, yet they're just not happy. Something is wrong. They're just not fulfilled. And I believe that thing is passion. That's what's missing. Now, what I'm trying to communicate right now is chase it. Not chase it. Actually, I don't think you should chase it. Passion is like love in the sense of finding someone. I don't believe that it's something that you should chase or force. It just happens. You're meant to find it, you're meant to see it. But the interesting thing, I got an interesting point of view. So I had interviewed a teacher at my high school, and as someone who's always grown up knowing that they loved music and was always passionate, I've never had to work for that. I've never had to, and I probably will. I definitely will, but I've never had to work to find that passion. And so I was talking to this teacher, and it was really interesting because today, he is very, very passionate about what he does. Teaching in itself, he's so passionate about it, but he's had to retry 3 times at this job. 3 times. And I have this quoted on my website, but he said he really had to commit to find the passion and find that love for it, which is interesting, but I also believe that that is very true. Like, it's not something you chase, it's not something you force, but you really do find it once you fully apply yourself. And so just honestly, if you do not have passion in your life, you are not living a good life. And you deserve a good life. And this is a very dark thought. This is not an easy pill to swallow, but life is short. And I know you probably hear that every day on TikTok, social media, your parents, your grandparents, doesn't matter. You probably see it all the time, but it's true. Tomorrow could be your last day. The next 15 minutes could be your last 15 minutes. And imagine not living a life that you love, that you adore. Because once again, it is you, that's what you deserve. You, just as I do, you deserve. I will never stop trying to convince people to find the love that I've found for music and performing, because I truthfully believe that I honestly don't think I'll ever have this kind of feeling. I truthfully don't think ever man or woman will ever affect my body and affect me the way that music and performing does. And knowing that I could change someone's mind, change someone's life, knowing that I could show you that it's possible for you to find that one day, why would I not? Because if it weren't for music, I don't know what my life would be. And I think that if you can find that thing in your life and have it in your life for the rest of it, you're set. It doesn't matter if you have fancy sports cars and mansions and all of that. If you have that one thing you love in your life, you're just fine. And yeah, I think that I forgot what I was gonna say. All I'm gonna say is just go for it. And honestly, if you don't have to make it your full career. It's still, once again, it's good to think realistically. It's good to know, like, maybe this is not something that I can make a true real life income from. And so you can find a way to implement it in your everyday life. You know, for an example, maybe it's painting or pottery or something like tennis, you know, a sport. You can still find a career that you like, but you can still wake up every day, wake up early, you know, maybe on weekends after work. Play some tennis, paint, songwrite, meditate, do yoga, sing, whatever it is that you love. It's not impossible to just do it and love it, because I feel that it's what your soul needs. So, what I'm going to say is, no matter if you're in high school, if you're in your 40s, if you're in middle school, if you're in your 20s, if you already have a set career, if it's not what you love, you don't have to stick to it. Nobody is forcing you. And go out there and do it. It's scary. You're taking a risk, but I believe in you. You should believe in you, and you can do it. I know that in the end, it will help you, and you will feel that you are living a life that you would never, ever want to give up. So, thank you, and